you guys, it's Katya with Hindustan Astrology here, and in this video we are going to go over the month of December 2025 Vedic astrology forecast. Okay, you guys, so we are still in the scorpionic intensity as we start this month. But by the end of the month, we will have a stellium in Sagittarius, which is really asking us to sift through our beliefs, and go through things that don't serve us anymore. Our new moon this month is in Sagittarius, Mula Nakshatra. Mula is the root star. It's about digging up things from the past to heal, but it's also, about root medicine, about using herbal medicine and things that are close to the earth rather than relying on modern methods, shall we say. Sagittarius is about burning things down. I'm sorry, Mula is about burning things down and starting over again. So I will say that this is going to be an intense month where things, um, you know, as we go into the new year, things are going to really turn around. We do have Jupiter going back into Gemini, and Jupiter will be in a Parivartana yoga with Mercury, who goes into Sagittarius on the 28th. So this whole month is really about sifting through, releasing things that don't serve us anymore and preparing for the new year. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, so here we have Niriti, the goddess of destruction. She is the ruling deity of Mula, where our new moon is this month. Our full moon is in Taurus, which is exalted, but it's sitting with Uranus. And Taurus is receiving Saturn's third aspect right now. So our full moon is going to be a little tricky, but the new moon is really, I feel like, going to bring everything together. And just so you don't forget, I do have readings available in person in Bloomington, Indiana. I'm at the Fountain Square Mall, Suite 250. It's on the second floor, and you just go to hindustanastrology.com to book a reading. But if you are not local, I do Zoom readings as well. So you will pick the other readings that don't say in person for those options. And don't forget, I also do Reiki. It is available long distance as well, and Tarot. And at the end of this forecast, I will be doing Tarot for this month as well. And don't forget to sign up for the newsletter. Okay, so right off the bat, we have our Mars, which is still Gandanta. I'm sorry, going into Gandanta, December 3rd through the 12th. So already that, is going to kind of set off the month of intensity, going from Scorpio to Sagittarius. Then the next day we have our full moon in Taurus, which is exalted, in Rohini. So you can see here, moon is sitting with Uranus retrograde, which can really bring kind of like really strong intuitive hits. It could even bring a windfall of abundance if it's sitting properly in your chart. But look what's opposite, right? So it's the full moon, so we have sun, moon opposite, but we have Venus and Mars riding along, gunshot with sun. And they are, well, Venus is going into combustion and Mars is going into combustion. So, they're both going to be combust all the way until they get up to Aquarius, which I think for Venus it's in February, but for Mars it's March 27th. So when planets are combust, the sun overshadows them. The sun steals their energy. They can't operate properly. So when Mars is combust, we feel burnt out. When Venus is combust, our self-confidence and self-worth takes a hit. So, this is definitely time to take care of yourself this winter. In the northern hemisphere, right, as we are going into winter, do all of the health things. As I said, the new moon is in Mula, which is about the roots. So, really getting into herbalism and root medicine would be an excellent way to ward off any health problems here. And then, we are in the shadow of Jupiter re-entering Gemini on this full moon. So you see he's over here at 2 minutes of Cancer. And so after this new moon, which is at 6:14 p.m. EST, Jupiter will go back at 7 a.m. the next day into Gemini. Okay. So, Jupiter's exalted in Cancer, right? He loves being there. In Gemini, he's a little scattered. He's like the energy of Gemini is very restless, right? And Jupiter likes to expand things. So it's kind of topsy-turvy. And depending on where it is in your chart, issues are going to come back for you from when Jupiter was in Gemini, it was like October 18th, I think he went into Cancer. So ask yourself what happened in October, because those issues are going to come back again. So just prepare yourself, okay? And then next June 1st, he will go back into Cancer. So he goes direct, I think, I want to say May, I think. April or May, he goes direct, and then by June 1st, he'll go back into Cancer. So, this 6-month period is really time to reflect. I guess 6.5, it seems like. Reflect upon, all things Jupiter, right? Education, money, our father. I'm sorry. Well, Jupiter rules the ninth house of the father, but for a woman, Jupiter is the spouse, right? So there could be issues with that going on. It just depends on, where it is in your chart. Again, if you want to book a reading with me, we can dig through this and figure out how this is affecting you. I've already seen it in people's lives around me. So it's definitely significant if you have a Cancer ascendant or moon or even a sun. If, your 10th house, which would be if you were a Libra rising, the 10th house would be Cancer. Things would be going on with your career, that kind of thing, okay? So that's the big news for this full moon. Other things that are happening, Neptune is getting ready to go direct on the 7th. So his energy is going to be felt for this new moon. And again, he's riding shotgun with Saturn. And Saturn's putting his third aspect onto Taurus. So things coming out of the woodwork, things that you didn't know before, deceptions, deceit, that kind of thing can come out. But Saturn and Neptune together is about working hard to make your dreams a reality. So there could be something going on with that. Okay. Just depends on where it is in your chart. Let's see. Our moon is in an earth sign, which means it is in a trine with Pluto and Capricorn. So there could be some dark things that are being dug up as well, Pluto is the underworld, and it's things that are secret as well. So again, with Neptune going direct and Pluto giving a trine to the moon, I think there's going to be some interesting things coming out concerning, well, if you want to look at Monday in astrology, for the United States, we have a Sagittarius ascendant. So this is all happening in the 6th house. And the 6th house is what? Service. And that's what everybody in Congress is supposed to be doing, is serving the country. But, it's also health. So we had better be really careful in the United States with our health right now. And like I said, when things go into Sag, you're going to be grabbing for every remedy you can get, because I think that at least up here, now in the Southern Hemisphere, I don't know, but up here, we're going to have a lot of snow this winter. So I imagine it might be a really hot summer for like Australia. So yeah, this full moon, I just say take advantage of this gorgeous energy. regardless of what else is going on, moon's exalted. It's a full moon. Get outside, take a look at it. A lot of our new phones today have wonderful cameras, and you can really take beautiful pictures of the night sky. So, let's stay positive and focus on the beauty of the Taurus full moon in Rohini, which is the star of ascent. She's the favorite wife of the moon. So, it's kind of a lusty energy. It's kind of passionate, going for what it wants. So enjoy. Okay, now we have December 6th through the 15th. On the 6th, we have Mercury re-entering Scorpio because he's retrograde, right? And Mercury loves being in Scorpio, so I don't see this as necessarily a bad thing. It's just the fact that, we've got, Sun, Mars, Venus, all the stuff going on there. We could have information coming back to us concerning our fifth house. Well, I'm sorry, not our fifth, concerning whatever house Scorpio is in for your chart. The next day, on the 7th, we have Mars entering Sagittarius, and he's doing this very interesting dance here as the other planets join, right? So right off the bat, when Mars enters Sagittarius, he will be in an opposition with Jupiter retrograde in Gemini, who just went in there on December 5th, right? So that's going to be, Mars is the planet of the soldier, and Jupiter expands things. And so this is what we call the swashbuckler, right? We get a lot of things done when Mars and Jupiter are in aspect to each other. And then the Sun enters Sag on the 16th, and then Venus follows on the 20th. And then I went ahead and did the whole cycle of Mars and Sag, even though it goes into January, because this is all very important stuff, and I want you to be thinking about, because this is all going to be in Sag in whatever house that is for you. So on the 5th, Sun, Venus, and Mars are all together at around 20 to 21 degrees. And it's in Purva Ashada, which is declaration of war. And so, oftentimes we do have like saber rattling and wars breaking out, battles and things, because Mars is the soldier and is concerned with protecting the territories, right? The boundaries. And Venus is about values. It's about what we value. And so, nationalism, protecting the country, right? All of that kind of stuff comes out when these two come together. And Sagittarius is about law. So I think we're going to see some interesting movements with the wars we have going on. And then 3 days later, we have Venus and Mars at a Graha Yuddha, which is at 24 degrees, which literally is planetary war. But I think that's going to show some kind of wars, breaking out. Well, not breaking out, but ramping up again. Okay. And then on the 12th, Mars is completely combust to the sun. So when Mars is combust, as I said, he's burnt out. He can't function. But the Cazimi is 8 minutes on either side of the exact conjunction. And this is like a window of opportunity opens up. So maybe we'll have some kind of peace agreement when this happens. Maybe, things will get bad and then we'll have a move back to peace at this time. That's just one possibility. But for sure that day, we're going to feel it. So just try to rest. Our energy is going to be very low, most likely. And then on the 16th of January, Mars enters Capricorn to end that cycle. And he will then conjunct the Sun, Venus, and Pluto. So next thing we have is on December 10th at 7:24 a.m., Neptune goes direct. So everything we just talked about with Saturn and Neptune being together, definitely around this time, there's going to be some information and things coming out that we didn't realize. I call Neptune retrograde the whistleblower, because truth comes out that was hidden, right? But when Neptune is direct, that's when the veil comes back over again. There's all this fog and mist and can't quite see properly. So, yeah, And when he changes direction, then we find things out. So just pay attention around the 10th on matters of wherever your Pisces house is, okay? Um, December 15th, 5:50 p.m. EST, Sun enters Sagittarius in opposition with Jupiter in Gemini, and Saturn is putting his 10th aspect onto Sagittarius now. I mean, he has been, but now that we have planets there, we're really going to feel it, okay? So Saturn putting pressure upon the Sun. So there's going to be some kind of rebellion, you know. It's a rebellious energy. And so I think we're just being put pressure upon us to get whatever our Sagittarius house is in order. Okay. If it's your sixth house, it's about your health. It's just, if it's your fifth house, it's about your kids, right? That kind of thing. And then Sun is, like I said, conjunct Mars when he enters Sag, but Mars is combust the Sun until March 27th. And then on the 19th, Venus in a Sag enters Sag and will be Gandanta from the 17th to the 23rd. Now, a Venus Gandanta can definitely bring back people from our past. So just pay attention to that. And especially if they themselves have significant placements in Sagittarius, or you do, yeah, you can bet there's going to be some kind of building up of energy. Okay, now for the rest of the month, there's not a whole lot going on the 16th through the 31st. We have here our new moon, like I said, which is in Sag Mula. And we have this opposition with Jupiter, which is like a conjunction. So I feel that there will be truth coming out. There will be, like I said, saber rattling, but Jupiter, when it's in an opposition with the moon, is a Gajah Yoga. So that's a protection. Jupiter is protecting us on this new moon. And he's retrograde, which makes him even stronger. So yeah, just really take use of this to dig down to the root of things, to get into, healing, indigenous medicine. This Venus and Mercury and Scorpio actually will be good for our relationships, having deep conversations. Yeah, I feel like this is actually going to be a beneficial new moon, clearing a lot of crud out before we start the new year. Now, Mercury enters Sagittarius on the 28th, so he's going to cross back in, and when he does, he's going to be in a parivartana with Jupiter, because Mercury will be in Jupiter's sign, and Jupiter is in Mercury's sign. So it's like they are in their own signs. It makes them even more powerful. And so what would this be about? Well, Mercury in Sag loves to declare its beliefs, right? It loves to lecture other people about them. It loves to, study religion, study spirituality. And Jupiter in Gemini can't seem to get enough information. So this is definitely a time if you are bored and you want to, really dig into a subject, this is a great time to do that. Mercury rules legal tender and Jupiter is abundance. So this could be a good time for the stock market, honestly. So here is all the transits for Mercury and Sag on the 2nd. And again, I'm going into January because he starts on the 28th. So January 2nd, Sun and Venus will be exactly conjunct Cazimi. The 7th, Sun and Mars will be Cazimi. And then on the 8th, Sun, Mars, and Venus will be exactly conjunct. So this first week is going to be a doozy, you guys. Just try to stay out of the way of the fight. Venus and Mars will be in Graha Yuddha. And then January 14th, the Sun enters Capricorn. So as we move through this, like literally what I'm going to do is after New Year's, I'm going to be cleaning out my closet and getting to the root of it, because it's not that it's unorganized, it's just that it's packed. And it's packed with a lot of stuff that I'm not wearing anymore. And so that's the way I'm gonna utilize this energy for me. I'm gonna organize, I'm gonna clean. My daughter's gonna help me because she's really a drill sergeant and she will not let me keep anything that I don't need. So that's a good way to use this energy on a practical level. But on a mundane level, things are going to be a little bit crazy in the world. So yeah, I hope that helps you guys. Let's go ahead and start our tarot. Okay. Well, this spread is going to be for everyone for the month of December 2025. Just going to pull 3 cards. So for our first card, we have Son of Wands in the East, Prince of Wands. This is Krishna. And the Prince of Wands is an energy of something coming into us, right? Something, a new thought, a new idea. And it could be a person, okay? Somebody bringing information back to you, someone bringing that spark back to you. And Krishna is very charming, right? And so this is what I was talking about with that Venus and Mercury and Scorpio. There could be somebody coming back to you that was very charming. Maybe they play music, or are an artist of some sort. But that energy is here at the beginning of the month. Then we go into the Hermit and it's reversed. So what does that mean? Well, the Hermit is literally when we are alone and isolated and wanting to be alone, figuring things out. When the Hermit is reversed, we are coming out of isolation. Okay. We are done being alone. We want to have a relationship. And guess what comes after that? The Two of Cups. So for you guys that are not married, there could be someone coming in from your past. And you're coming out of hibernating. It's time to get back in the game, right? And by the end of the month, and probably into New Year's in January, you could find yourself back in a relationship. So I feel like this is a beautiful way to use this Sagittarius and Scorpio energy. Just get rid of things you don't need. Focus on what you do want, and if there's any you know, tied up, or rather loose ends you need to tie up, those relationships will probably come back in. So just, you know, uh, pay attention, be aware, and um, yeah, I think it's a good thing for everybody. All right, you guys, I hope that helps you for this month. If you have any questions, just head on over to hindustanastrology.com, shoot me a message. I would love to chat and give you a reading, see what's going on. And so until next time, namaste, and I'll see you later. Bye.